These are the chocolate habaneros. Carrot. Here's the ingredients that we use: carrots, red onion, and chocolate habaneros, and salt. Cut the carrots lengthwise so they fit in the mason jar. Wear a glove for handling the chocolate habaneros. Wash them. Cut off the stem. Cut lengthwise in quarters. Remove the seeds and the membrane. Set the seeds aside, save those. You can plant them for next year. You want to get all of the seeds out because they'll float and ruin the ferment.
So cut the stem lengthwise, remove all the seeds.
Correct. And this membrane, that's where all the heat is. So if you want it hotter, leave more of that in. I take most of it out.
What is a membrane again? Can you?
The membrane's this little piece where the seeds connect.
Oh, okay. So if you want it hotter, leave more of it in.
Right.
So I think leave more of it in because I think hotness is requested.
Right.
But maybe not too hot.
Right. Yeah. There's a lot of heat there. These peppers are pretty hot on their own. So I usually take most of that out with the seeds, just because it's easier.
Okay.
You want about a dozen of these per quart size jar.
Okay. So repeat with the rest.
So if it looks like it's starting to rot on the inside, just throw that one away and wash the knife and pick another one. Don't want to risk ruining the whole batch. Now peel and thick slice the onions. Onions are peeled, and I'm going to slice them thick like that. About one small onion or half a large onion per jar. It's probably more than enough. And now on top of that's about 12 to 15 habaneros cut up on top of that in the jar. We're going to place these slices of onion just sort of right on top of there. Push them down.
And why do you do it in this order?
The smaller stuff on bottom, and then the carrots will be on top to prevent the small stuff from floating to the top. As it ferments, it makes bubbles, obviously, and the bubbles will cause some of the things to float, and if they're floating on the top and they can contact oxygen, then they can rot. You want to push it down too to make as much space as possible in there. Alright, now some of the smaller pieces of carrots go on the bottom. They can be just sort of haphazardly in there. Push them down a bit. And then on top of that, you want to just start building like a raft of carrots. These are there to keep anything from below from floating up while it ferments. And now I go the other way to crisscross, just another raft batter. And now the fermentation weight goes on top. You want about an inch space from the top of the weight to the top of the jar. 1 tablespoon of salt. I use pink Himalayan salt. Dissolve that in water. You mix that to dissolve it. And then pour that all on top. And then add more water till it gets up to approximately the top of the weight. Put a lid on loosely, and then put that in a tray, because as it ferments, it creates bubbles and it can bubble over. You want to check it periodically to see if anything's floated to the top. If so, scoop it off. Use a spoon or something to push that weight down a little bit more to get the bubbles out. You do want it to keep a layer of CO2 in there to prevent it from molding. So try and disturb it as little as possible, but check on it to make sure there's no floaties that can rot. And then place it somewhere that doesn't get direct sunlight, not too hot, out of the way.